A very good afternoon to all. Today I shall be speaking on the topic setting up and execution of telemedicine-based pulmonary rehabilitation program for post-COVID-19 illness. As you can see, this was the study's picture. India has crossed more than 80 lakh confirmed cases and around 1 lakh 21,000 deaths so far due to COVID-19. This is latest news. The government health ministry has announced that India's COVID-19 recovery rate has reached landmark of 90%, and all the COVID-19 vaccine is in the loop. So this is a very positive news. But as you said, increased recovery survival is always associated with increased morbidity. So this recovery with post-COVID illness is associated with morbidity. A lot of literature and research paper are coming up with post-COVID-19 morbidity. Approximately 15% of individuals with COVID-19 develop moderate to severe disease and require hospitalization supports, and 5% requires ICU, intubation, and ventilation support. The most common complications are severe pneumonia, acute respiratory distress syndrome, sepsis, septic shock, multi-organ failure, cardiac injury, etc. If we see the lung pathology due to COVID-19, there is an alteration of lung tissues such as ground glass opacities, consolidations, vascular thickenings, bronchiectasis, pleural effusion, crazy paying pattern, and irregular sodium levels. These are most common findings and may progress in over 80% of the patients. This persistent limitation in respiratory function and gas exchange will likely to be more pronounced in the subgroup of ICU survivors. Patients with COVID-19 seem to have movement-related fatigue similar to ARDS in ICU survivors. And prolonged ICU stay may lead to physical deconditioning along with lung fibrosis and breathing difficulty. The burden of post-COVID-19 treatment illness is more prone in the form of respiratory complications and subsequently lead to physical weakness, psychological complications in the form of anxiety and depression. So all the above factors increases post-COVID-19 morbidity. Hence, pulmonary rehabilitation is crucial and essential for COVID-19 survivors. The WHO published this support for rehabilitation self-management document in the month of July-August. So is there any evidence for pulmonary rehab in COVID-19? This was the randomized control study came from the China in the month of May. They did respiratory rehabilitation in elderly patients. This was outpatient disease rehabilitation and they investigated the effect of 6-week respiratory rehabilitation training on respiratory function, quality of life, and other factors. They concluded that 6-week respiratory rehabilitation can improve respiratory function, quality of life, and anxiety of elderly patients with COVID-19, but it has a very little significant improvement in the depression in the elderly. If you search on the PubMed about the various guidelines about the COVID-19 and pulmonary rehabilitation, multiple papers you would see. Almost every international respiratory medicine association has formulated one guideline along with PMR specialist. So why telemedicine-based pulmonary rehabilitation? Is there any evidence? This was the latest study coming up from the Japan and published in the September 2020. They did a single center retrospective observation study on 43 COVID-19 patients undergoing pulmonary rehabilitation. The primary objective was to describe the effectiveness and risk management of remote rehabilitation for COVID-19. And they concluded that remote rehabilitation was an effective and safe modality against the transmission of infection and could facilitate the rehabilitation of patients in COVID-19. This remote rehabilitation was done through the video link and audio link. So to summarize the advantages of telemedicine-based pulmonary rehabilitation, it increases the access to rehabilitation services, prevents exposure of post-COVID-19 survivors to external environment, reduces time of travel to pulmonary rehabilitation centers, and it is extremely cost-effective. So to set up a telemedicine-based pulmonary rehab, following things are essential: infrastructure, manpower, equipment, and standard operating procedures. So infrastructure-wise, as you can see into the image, simple laptop or desktop along the webcam is essential along with good quality, good speed internet. If you don't have laptop or desktop, simple tab or smartphone is more than sufficient with internet connectivity. This is for both patient as well as physiatrist. Manpower, PMR specialist doctor. I personally strongly recommend that PMR specialist should lead and should conduct all the tele-rehabilitation session, because in tele-rehabilitation, everything you are going to see through the video call, you are going to prescribe all the prescription or telemedicine, and you are going to monitor. So if for any complication happens, doctors has upper advantage as compared to paramedical person. Equipments, from a physiatrist perspective, there is no specific equipment is essential or required, but from patient perspective, following equipments are essential, like incentive spirometer or inspiratory muscle brace, then pulse oximeter, then dumbbell set of 5 kg, this is optional, and exercise bands. So total cost could be around 1,000 to 5,000 rupees. Standard operating procedures, it should contain one-time physical assessment form, exclusion and pulmonary rehabilitation termination criteria, precision of pulmonary rehabilitation program according to clinical status and assessment findings, and execution of pulmonary rehab sessions. So physical assessment is essential to find out current clinical and functional status of the patients, to find out any contraindications for pulmonary rehab, and to set a goal to achieve through the pulmonary rehab. So this is our patient assessment booklet. We fill all the basic essentials along with relevant history, duration of ICU stay, lung complications, and any previous radiological investigations, COVID-19 report, assessment of exercise capacity, and other vital parameters. So this is our proformas of 6-minute walk test and MMRC scale. Then following instructions are essential to advise before starting rehab sessions. CBCSR, C-reactive protein, X-ray chest PAO. If saturation is not maintaining at room here, then HRCT in consultation with pulmonary medicine specialist to be done to find out exact pathology in the lung. Because in most of the cases, X-ray radiograph doesn't show patchy consolidation, but on CT scan you say multiple small tiny patches. Exclusion criteria: active case of COVID-19 or body temperature more than 38 degree or SpO2 less than 90% and not able to maintain at room air, or uncontrolled diabetes, hypertension, either other major systemic illness, etc. Termination criteria from ongoing pulmonary rehab: if the person is having following things, then pulmonary rehab is to be terminated. If the patient have temperature rise or exacerbation of respiratory symptoms and which is not relieved even after rest, sudden drop of oxygen below 90%, and any of the following symptoms like chest tightness, dizziness, dyspnea, etc. So this should be the workflow. Patient attends PMR OPD, written consent for pulmonary rehab program, then assessment of medical records, then verification of COVID-19 status. This is important to rule out the spread of the virus in the surrounding of the patients. Then detailed physical assessment, then patient education video or leaflet available, generation of prescription of pulmonary rehab program, execution and assessment. So we'll come to the exactly execution of telemedicine based post-COVID-19 rehab. So we start with first patient education and counseling. When the patient comes to you, you are informed about the disease prognosis and correct use of medicine, high protein, high carbohydrate diet, importance of physical activity, and information of energy conservation techniques. You can, as you can see into the image, this has been illustrated handbook which is published by the Department of PMR AIIMS Raipur, and such type of handbooks and leaflets are very important to increase the compliance of the patient. Then we start with first breathing exercises. This includes pursed breathing exercises and diaphragmatic breathing exercises. Frequency would be 5 to 10 repetitions per 2 times a day. This can vary depending upon the patient's current status. And then in case of patient is having expectoration, chest PT and huffing techniques, and incentive spirometry, again 5 to 10 repetitions 2 times a day. Then as you can see, various types of warm-up and stretching exercises can be advised. Then aerobic conditioning exercises in the form of leg lift, rope jump, or stair climbing up down can be advised. We are going to use the current resources available at house in the patients, and all the exercises are to be designed accordingly. This is a prescription of pulmonary rehab program. As you can see, the frequency is 6 days per week. Minimum 3 sessions supervised through video call. Various guidelines, although complete guidelines are yet to be established, but depending upon the patient's condition, you can increase the frequency, and depending upon the availability of time from your side as well as opposite side, so you can increase the frequency through video call based. In strength training, you can use the dumbbells. If the dumbbells are not available, simple water bottles can be used for the strengthening, and exercise band or exercise loops can be used for upper and lower limb strengthening exercises. And this is a prescription summary. Again, the frequency will be the same, and intensity will be volitional exhaustion on each set, or stop 2 to 3 repetitions before volitional exhaustion. So this is our rehab protocol which we follow at just to summarize. Then I would like to discuss one case along with you. This is a 59-year-old male, known case of diabetes mellitus and hypertension, who had fever, cough, weakness, and loss of taste of sensation since 3 days. Rapid antigen test came positive. Then HRCT done. At that time, it was normal. After 3 days, he was his fever and other symptoms got deteriorated, so he was admitted to private COVID hospital. On day 3 of admission, he developed breathlessness with SpO2 of 87%, diagnosed COVID-19 pneumonitis with ARDS, shifted to ICU, and was put on BiPAP non-invasive ventilation with a FiO2 of 70%. Procalcitonin status was 7. Interleukin 6 was 90, D-dimer was 0.7, C-reactive protein was 126, and total count was 12,500. This was the X-ray chest PVU. This was after on day 3 of admission, where you can see the multiple patches, ground glass opacities, and consolidation, severe pneumonitis involving right upper, middle, and lower lobe, as well as left side, middle, and lower lobe. So he has given standard treatment including Remdesivir, higher antibiotic, and methylprednisolone. Then patient shifted to ward after 8 days of ICU admission, and he was discharged from on the 16th day of hospital admission. At the time of discharge, he was able to maintain oxygen saturation with room air and having severe weakness with grade 4 dyspnea. Post-discharge, patient was started on pirfenidone 200 mg BID. A lot of new research evidence is coming up on pirfenidone. This is routinely used for the interstitial lung diseases, pulmonary fibrosis. So effects are coming up. So this is X-ray chest preview at the time of discharge, where you can see the consolidation has been reduced, but the patches are still there. So on physiatrist R assessment, initial assessment, functional assessment, MMRC dyspnea scale was 4. On 6-minute walk test, it was hardly able to walk for 30 minutes with SF36 quality of life index value is 26%, with 30 seconds set to stand test is count is 5. So patient was started on telemedicine based pulmonary rehab, continuous monitoring of oxygen and saturation for done for initial 1 week, video call based 3 sessions per week of approximately 40 duration, followed by 3 sessions conducted on alternate day under supervision of the patient's relative. So total 6 sessions per week has been done. So approximately 18 sessions we conducted. So I would like to show the small video of 3 minutes of the same patient. So this is post COVID-19 pulmonary rehabilitation. This is a video of session number 2. We started with firstly breathing exercises, and diaphragmatic exercises. Then simple warm up and range of motion exercises of both upper and lower limb. Then simple stretching exercises of both upper and lower limb. Then started with the strengthening exercises of lower limb as well as upper limb. Various closed chain kinetic as well as open chain kinetic exercises has been taught to the patient. At that time, patient was not having dumbbells, so we simply used water bottles of 1 kg for this strengthening of upper and lower limb, or strengthening of upper limb. The whole session was, the initial 1 week was with 2 liters of nasal oxygen to the patient. Simple staircase climb up and climb down exercises have been taught to the patient during the initial week. So this is the last session, session number 18 of the post-COVID-19 pulmonary rehab. We started with pulse sleep breathing exercises, then simple ROM and stretching exercises to the upper and lower limb. As you can see, the speed and endurance of the patient has increased drastically as compared to the session number 2. We use exercise TheraBand and TheraLoops patient purchased and started sending has of both upper and lower limb. Then various set of exercises has been taught to the patient. Some exercises could not be mentioned because of time constraint. So this was the X-ray chest we taken after 21 days of pulmonary rehabilitation. You can see there's multiple patches are still there. X-ray has not yet, lung has not yet cleared. So assessment after 21 days of tele-rehabilitation. So MMRC grade dyspnea scale from 4 to 1, 6-minute walk test from 30 meters to 450 meters, and SF36 quality of life increased from 26% to 87%, with 30 seconds set to stand test from 5 to 16. So to conclude, telemedicine is going to give a new dimension to the healthcare delivery system, especially in our country. And telemedicine-based pulmonary rehabilitation for COVID-19 illness is very much effective without economic burden to physiatrists as well as to the patient. COVID-19 pandemic has given an opportunity to PMR specialty to contribute for betterment of health of post-COVID-19 patients in the form of pulmonary rehabilitation, and I believe we must grab this opportunity. Thank you for your patience. Thank you.